Hello, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or wherever you might be joining or listening to this podcast. My name is Arise Mike Godfrey, and I'm your friend. I want to welcome you to the maiden edition of our weekly podcast on life in the university. All right, welcome, welcome. I can assure you it's going to be a mind blowing time, it's going to be a very interesting time. All right, we're going to learn some very important info and lessons about life in the university. So I want to welcome you specially to our maiden edition on life in the university. All right, so you can always listen to the recorded sections every Saturday at 8 a.m. All right, in your preferred format, either the MP4, all right, or MP3 via the various media platforms we have available. All right, on Spotify, Telegram channel, all right, on our YouTube channel, all right, LinkedIn, Facebook, and AudioMac. All right, so it's going to be a very beautiful time. Every Saturday, 8 a.m., we have a repeat of the weekly podcast. All right, or a fresh edition of the weekly podcast, if you like. All right, so it's going to be a very beautiful time that I can assure you. All right, that I can assure you. Now, for some of you who will be joining us for the very first time, all right, from the various part of the world, you might be joining us today. Um, I want to welcome you specially once more. Now, the vision and the mandate for Life University is really simple. All right, is to help the global student community live an effective life on campus. And really, this stems from a place of pain. All right, so in the last 8 years, I've been in the university space. All right, and I've found out that many students are not living effectively. Right, many students are really not living effectively. All right, and this of course cut across different areas of their life. All right, in studies. All right, in eating. All right, about their health. All right, and other areas of their life, their relationship, and all of these areas of their life. I found out quite a number of students are really not living their best life on campus. All right, and it's one of my desire to really see how I can help the global students community, of course, which includes you rather, all right, and to really help you live an effective life daily on campus. Because really, when I think about it, right, and most times, I'm saddened by that discovery of many students not living their best life. Many students are just living to get by. So whatever comes to them, while they go through life in university, which is supposed to be a very beautiful experience, to every student, right? But I found out that they accept life, accept whatever comes to them, while going through life in university. So um if it's during their time, if they have to experience or come across an ugly event, bad events and the rest of that, most students open their arms wide open, all right, and welcome all of those experiences. But that's not correct and that's not good. All right, so because you can selectively choose the kind of life you want to live and the kind of experiences you want to consistently have while you go through life in university. So, in a bid to put an end to this ineffective living, all right, and in order to achieve the vision of life in university, I deem it fit to be, very important to consistently teach the principles for effective living. All right, and all I seek to do in this weekly podcast is to bit by bit, all right, introduce you to these principles that can, ensure you're well grounded, all right, and at the end of all of this experience, one thing is sure that you'll be able to maximize your campus experience. All right. So I'm also grateful for the internet and the possibility it creates for us to hold, record and upload this weekly podcast. So wherever you might be joining us from, or wherever you're located in, or wherever your campus might be located in, all right, you get to receive a copy or the recorded version of our weekly podcast on various platforms where you can, of course, download them. So all you need to do on our respective platform, by the way, if you want to meet us, all right, you want to get, the recorded version weekly, you might do well to follow me on Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, AudioMac, LinkedIn, and probably on Telegram. All right, all at Arise Michael Godfrey. I'm going to be sharing with you my contact details for some of you who would love to reach me personally on WhatsApp. All right. So all of these recorded weekly sessions will be available on these platforms. All right, and it's going to be a very, very, very beautiful one. All right. So today I want to share with you something very interesting. All right, something very dear to my heart. A topic I consider to be very valuable. In fact, whenever I'm about to start up, the discourse on life in university, before talking about the principles for effective living, in the university space, or in your respective campus, I love to start up with, sharing with you about the gift of life in university. Most students don't really believe, there's something worthwhile, going through the university space or going through the campus. But I can assure you that, one of the most beautiful experience you have, in life, as a young adult, an individual, who find yourself in this learning, in this stage of learning. All right, it's, the gifts that comes through going through the university, right? And there are many gifts that comes through, going through life in university, very precious gifts. So all I want to do with you today, all right, is to share with you some of those priceless gifts, and I'm just going to be focusing on one. All right, I'll pick one, and we'll talk about it extensively in the next 20 to 30 minutes. All right. And next week, we pick it up from there and we continue our journey on this very beautiful section talking about life in the university is gifts. Understanding the four priceless gifts the university life gives to every student. Once you take up the badge of becoming a student or being a student, you know there are no way except you neglect the principles I'm going to be sharing with you, all right? Except you neglect the steps I'm going to be sharing with you, all right? You can't but enjoy these gifts, all right, that comes through being a student. So we're going to be diving in on understanding the four priceless gifts the university life gives to every student, of which includes your very self. All right, let's jump in. All right, so I would love to ask you a question, all right, and don't mind me. I just want to know, your friends on, this very journey, all right, and if I want to mentor you effectively, we must build relationship, all right. So I want to be your friend, and of course, I know you're my friend, all right. So I want to ask you a very simple question. All right. But let's talk about the day you gain admission into the higher institution or into your respective university. And by the way, to help this, to help understand this very weekly podcast, all right, or the series we're going to be running in the coming weeks and coming months, let me also note that the term university, I've used that very term. It's a generic term, all right. It's a generic term I've used to, of course, include all of the tertiary institution, all right, of which includes polytechnic, technical schools, all right, and polytechnic, both private, right, states and federal, of course, right, and other tertiary institution. I'm not really specific on the university as a tertiary institution itself, all right. It's just an umbrella term that encompasses all of the students, who might find themselves, going through, the higher institution, studying a discipline, during this very period. So permit me, when I use university, I'm still talking about you. If students, in the polytechnic, college, and the rest of that, right? So I want to ask you a very simple question. I want you to share me your experience, all right? I'd love to know what your experience was like. Um, do you still remember the very day you gained, admission into the university or any higher institution? How did you feel? Can you share me your experience? Of course, you can write to me. I'm going to be very, very happy to read. I'll take all of my time to, read through your experience. All right. I'll be very glad to know how you felt. All right. And it's going to be very memorable. In fact, I could even document this because we have a book coming up tied to Life University. That'll be released sometime in 2026 or 2027. All right, Life University. So when I get to talk about, different the experiences of different students, you stand a chance of making it to a book. All right, so that's very beautiful. All right, so well, I can still remember mine. All right. In fact, um, it still remains very fresh in my mind even after 8 years. All right. It was on a cool evening, 27 December. My school, Natural State University, Kefi, has just released her admission list for 2017-2018 academic section. So that very day, I was out with a few friends, all right, and a brother. Of course, this was during the festive period, 27 December. We had just, concluded the Christmas celebration. So the whole of the celebration was still in the air. All right. We were just, basking, we were basking in the euphoria of the season. All right. So a few friend of mine and of course my brother Joshua, um we all went out to enjoy the moment. So it was during that very time I got the update that the admission list has been released. All right, so now I was filled with fear. Yeah, I was filled with so much fear. All right, I was very anxious. I felt pressured. Right, you don't want to blame me. All right, you don't want to blame me because this was the second time I was trying to gain an admission, into the higher institution after completing my secondary school. All right, so I already concluded that if I don't get this very admission now, I'm going to quit the search. All right. If I miss out on this very one, I'm going to quit the search. Right. That was how how pressured I felt. All right. So I said to my brother that very day while we all out, I said to my brother Joshua, can you help me check the list if you will find my name on it? And this is it. Let's play a game. If you find my name on the list, say to me, congratulations, you made it. All right. And if for any reason you don't find my name on the list, say to me, congratulations, but you have to try again. All right. So a few minutes later, Joshua was going through my phone. All right. And a few minutes later, Joshua, my brother, smiled and said to me, congratulations. My goodness, you need to see my face, all right? So I quickly responded. We had two sides of the congratulations. Either you made it or you have to try again. So I turned to him and I said, come on, guy, you have to complete this. What's happening? Congratulations, what? Did I make it? Or I should try again? And of course, he smiled and said, well, you did, you made it. All right. So I smiled. You need to see my face that very day. I had a long grin on. I was very happy. And I said to myself, university, here I come. All right. So when I arrived at university 1 month later, a new chapter of my life began, and I will share with you all of those experiences bit by bit in our weekly episodes, all right, of this very podcast. All right. But for today, I want you to allow me to show you one of the gifts that university life gives to you as a student. All right. And I want to just share with you just this one gift, all right, and we move on from there. All right, and the gift I want to share with you today is that of, the gift of solving problems and creating solution. Really, this is the first gift, the university life gives to you. All right, is the ability to identify problem and create solutions. All right, so sometime last year, all right, this was 2024, right? I think either January, February, or March. Maybe during the first 3 months. All right. So I was surfing the internet that very day when I stumbled on a very funny video. All right, with a very funny caption as well. The caption read, "10 useless courses to study in the university." Now, this could probably be usual content to see on the internet, of course, yeah, one of those very usual content to see. All right, so it's easy to go past it. It's easy to screw on, and for of course for every other person. But for me, I couldn't just screw on. All right. I was really eager to find out what the content creator meant by useless course. All right, or probably a list of useless courses to study in the high institution. So I was really interested in that conversation. All right, and of course, as a trained educationist, I was interested, and also I was going to find out. I just hope this content creator has not named my course as one of those useless courses. Else, I found a way of reporting him to Facebook, and Mark Zuckerberg will just do his thing. All right, don't mind me. So, but while I watched, this very video, all right, he mentioned a list of courses of which includes. Now, I might not be able to run through the entirety of the courses he mentioned, but I'll just give you a little about it. So he talked about anatomy, all right, political science, sociology, history, banking and finance, public administration, and I think he also talked about agriculture and the rest of that, and so on. Now, I'm just hoping I haven't mentioned your course of study. But of course, if I did, you have to forgive me. I'm not a content creator. All right. I'm just trying to help you understand where I want to take you to. All right. I want to show you the gift of solving problems and creating solutions. All right. So, while I went through that very list. And I'm very sure if I have mentioned your course, all right, your specific course of study, I'm sure there's one thought running through your mind now. I'm just very sure. There's one question you might be asking, all right, and that question is not far from, I hope I'm not studying the wrong course. I hope I'm not studying a useless course. Or you might want to say, Mr. Arise, don't you think he's right? I mean, I'm a student of anatomy 300 level, or I'm a student of political science, or a student of sociology. I might even be in my first year. Would you help me now, Mr. Rice? Can you just help me? Let me know. If you feel this is a useless course, the next thing tomorrow morning, I'm off to the admin block, and I can assure you I'm going to be changing my course of study. All right, just hold on. Just hold on. Relax. Relax. I'm here to help you. All right. Is what I'm really creating this is why I really created this podcast, to help you go through life in university effectively, of which begins with understanding the gifts that life university gives to you. Well, if you have that question in mind, or you're currently nursing that very thought, if your course of study is useless, my simple response to that very thought, all right, or to that very question today, tomorrow, this month, this year, next year, and even in 1,000 year time, all right, is an emphatic no. All right, there's no course of study that is useless or suits the description of being called a useless course. Not a single one. All right, and the reason for this is very simple. All right, it's very, very simple. Every course of study is designed to solve a specific problem in the society. Every single course of study is really designed to solve a specific problem in the society. And as much as I know, solutions and opportunities are created by solving this very problem. All right. Solutions and opportunity are created by solving this very problem. And you get paid for creating solutions to this problem. And guess what? People are ready to pay as much. All right. People are ready to pay you as much while you solve this problem. So whether your course of study is mass communication, all right, whether your course of study is political science, psychology, philosophy, whatever your course of study is, all right, it was intelligently designed to solve a specific problem. All right. And one thing is sure, while you solve this problem, like I mentioned, all right, you begin to create solutions. All right. And as you create solution, you are paid for creating solution. And guess what? Like I just recently mentioned to you, people are willing to pay you as much. You just name the price. If you can create a solution, all right, and you are able to create a solution to that very specific problem, the world might be going through, or your society, or your nation might be going through. For example, each nation or each country of the world has a specific, had different peculiarities. All right. So the peculiarities of that very country makes up, the problem it faces and the prospective solution that can be created for, the very problem. Like a country like Nigeria. All right. No disrespect if you're my Nigerian brother or a Nigerian student listening to this, you will understand that we have a problem with leadership. All right. We have a problem with leadership, and that brings a problem of development. All right, a problem of national growth and development. All right, so if you can find a solution, to this very problem, which I'll be showing you how to do that. All right, you're able to create opportunities by, helping in creating, young effective leaders. All right, by the way, last weekend, was it last weekend now, or on the 27th of December? That was last year, 2024. All right, I was out in a conference. I attended a beautiful conference organized by Mr. Idowu. All right, it was titled Purposeful Leadership Conference (PLC). That's a problem he must have identified within the Nigerian society, or the Nigerian nation. All right, and he's taken little steps in seeing how he can now raise up effective leaders, all right, in Nigeria. All right, so I want to help you to begin to see, the problems you can solve. All right, I want to help you see how you can identify, these problems in your society or in your respective country. All right, using the gifts life university gives to you. All right, so if you want to do this, I have a four-step process, of identifying problems and creating solution. You might think that all you've been called to do, all right, or what you've been given an admission for is just to study psychology. In that sense, just go to school, study psychology, all right, or go to school. You've been admitted to study sociology, so all you need to do is just study sociology, and that's all. All right, that's not the complete story. All right, that's not the complete picture. So I want to form in your mind a very beautiful picture. All right, a picture that puts you in a position of, being a problem solver. A position that puts you in a picture. I want to create a picture in your mind that gives you the idea of becoming, a solution provider. All right, and this really involves four-step process of which you can use in identifying the problems and of course creating the solution with your experience in the university. So the first step, all right, the first step is to think about the problems in the world. All right, think about problems in the world. Now, thereabouts, and I think by my statistics, I might be a little bit incorrect on this. But from last year, from 2023 to early 2024, I understand that there are over 8.1 or about 8.1 billion people on Earth. All right. So there are about 8.1 billion people on Earth, and I really believe that so are the problem. Yeah, all right. So the number of people we have living on planet Earth, it's also a true representation of the number of problems we have. This is very simple. The logic behind this is very simple. Very simple. You as an individual, you have a problem. Your next door neighbor has a problem. All right. This doesn't really have to be, some problems that has to do with even health is a problem, mental issues are problems, and the rest of that. Finances can be a problem. So if you as an individual, all right, you have a problem, your next door neighbor has a problem, your next door neighbor also has a problem. All right. The one after the next door neighbor has a problem. All right. If we all have problems we are trying to solve, logically, in that same vein, in that same setting, all right, just think with me logically, all right. It's a true representation when I now tell you that you have to now believe me when I tell you that, we have 8.1 billion people of Earth on Earth, on planet Earth, and likewise, we have about 8.1 billion problems to solve. Now, you need to think deeply about the problem. You need to think deeply about the problems the world is currently facing, and it's a good step to take. All right, the step to take about this is to think, is to really open up your mind. All right, to really open up your mind and to really begin to see problems. If you're a 400 level student, or you're a final year student in the university or any of the high institution, you would realize that at your final year, you're being told to undertake a research, all right, to write a project. Now, the best way of writing a project is to really identify a problem. All right, if you want to really have a beautiful journey or a beautiful time writing, is to really pick out a problem, all right, and begin to profess solutions to that very problem. All right, so the world is currently facing a whole lot of problems. Which are you solving? All right. And it's a good thing to think about our problem, because what I know is that at the other side of thinking is solution creation. Yeah. At the other side of thinking about this very problem, or the plethora of problems, the world is currently facing, the other side of taking on this exercise is really solution creation. So having thought about a problem, the next step you can take is to begin to identify, a specific problem that resonates with you the most. Now, let me make this clear. While I, advise you to open up your mind to really see how you can identify problems, I want to really help you understand once more that while you think about the word problems, I need you to bear in mind that you can't solve all of them. The problem of the world is enormous. All right, just imagine me telling you, there are over 8.1 billion people on the earth, and so so are the sizes of problem and the magnitude of problem, or the number of problem. That already forms a picture in your mind to let you know the problems of the world is enormous. All right, is so large. All right, magnificently large. All right, so you alone as an individual might not be able to solve all of the word problem. You need to be specific, and this is where the principle of specificity, all right, I beg your pardon, specificity comes in, because you have to be very specific in identifying and, of course, in solving the very problem. Now, if you take a look at the mountain of education, there's a problem there to solve. All right, the mountain of science and the medical world has a problem. Media and entertainment has a problem. Religion has a problem. The mountain of family has a problem. So all you need to do is to identify, that one problem that resonates with you. For example, I, as a trained educationist, if there's any problem that resonates so well with me, or a list of problems, is number one, students poor academic performance. That's a problem for me. This problem really resonates with me. When I get to read reports on, the completion rate of students in Nigeria at whatever level of education, be it the primary level of education, secondary or tertiary, I get sad. All right, when I get to see the number of the rate of dropouts, or the rate of out of school children, I get so sad. When I get to see, our government, undermine the importance of education by not giving, an appropriate allocation of budget, or a sufficient allocation of budget to education, I get so sad. All right, so you can already picture these four areas. They are all connected to education for me. All right, and it's really specific. So part of what I'm doing here, all right, part of what I'm doing in the weekly podcast is to prefer a solution. If I have already identified that, all right, students are underperforming at the tertiary level, how do we do? What do we do? We need to identify the factors that necessitate or might be causing their underperformance. And having done that, you need to now start preferring solution, of which I'm doing. I understand one of the reasons students are underperforming, in the university, all right, and this is from the lens of research, is a lack of knowledge. All right, it's either they don't understand the priceless value of education, all right, so passion is not stirred up from the inside, or they don't understand or don't know, the keys and the laws for academic excellence, all right, or they haven't taken an advantage of life in the university. You can see how I'm able to, clearly identify some of all of these things because this is my field. All right, I've been able to identify this problem from for a very long time, and I'm able to build up solutions systematically for this very problem. So having thought about a problem, having thought about the problems of the world, all right, and having thought about you know having identified a specific problem, the next thing you need to do, all right, is to think solution. All right. Creating solution, I can assure you, is not difficult. All right. Creating solutions is more difficult. What is more taxing, all right, and what is even more difficult is identifying a problem. All right, that's where the a major chunk of the work lies. It lies in your ability to identify, that problem you want to solve, a specific problem you want to solve. And I can assure you, once you find one, what you can start doing as the next line of action is to turn on your light bulb from the inside. And what I mean by your light bulb, is to turn on your imagination, turn on your brain, turn on the switch bulb, turn it off from the inside and begin to search for solutions. And if there's anything I know about searching for solutions, solutions are not far away from you. Yeah, that's one discovery I've made over time. Solutions are not far away from you. All right, just using your knowledge from your course of study or your experiences from life in university, I can assure you, you can find a long lasting solution. For example, you might be studying sociology at the moment, or you might be studying psychology. All right, and a problem that resonates with you might be why are students living waywardly on campus? All right, or why do we find so much indecency in terms of dressing? Why are students not dressing modest? This might be a problem for you, and out of that very problem, you can start creating a brand, a clothing brand that promotes decency and modesty. All right, or probably you find out that most of your classmates or students around the campus are suffering from drug abuse. All right, that's already a problem. You can identify a solution. Okay, maybe I need to open up a therapy. All right, or maybe I have to collaborate with an NGO that is focused on providing solutions to victims of drug abuse and the rest of that. These are solutions, and they are just within your reach. All right, just within your reach. Or you might want to say, okay, from the from the understanding I have in my course, I want to create out, probably a podcast like I'm doing, all right, or I want to write a book about the effect of, drug abuse to your health and to your academic performance. That's a solution already. Do you understand? So creating a solution is really not difficult. What you need to do is look inwards, look around you, all right. You can even speak to friends, and you'll be so surprised that the solution you're thinking about, all right, in solving that very problem is not far away. It's just very close. And now, the last thing you need to do in identifying and solving a problem is what I call taking action. All right. I need you to write down the solution and you need to start to take what I will call the baby steps in solving that very problem. I made you understand that what is difficult is, identifying a specific problem. Now, the hardest part of solving a specific problem is taking actions towards that very problem. And let me help you understand this very clearly. You see, action is the gap between the problem you've identified and the solution you intend to create. Oh, that's so good. I think I should repeat that again. You see, the gap that currently exists between you and between the specific problem you must have identified in the university, your tertiary institution, or wherever in the society in Nigeria or your respective country, the gap that exists between that problem you've identified and the solution needed to, solve that very problem is action. And if you can take action, all right, you can, moment by moment, bit by bit, day by day, begin to bridge that gap, all right, of providing a solution to that very specific problem. And now this reminds me of, young college students, from, I think from America now, if I'm correct, who They were graduating. I think that was the last year of study. All right. So they were already having memories. Oh my God, I'm going to miss you. How do we connect? How do we talk after now and the rest of that? They were reminiscing on the moments they've shared all along, their college or campus experience. And this group of students talked about and, conversed, had this conversation and thought about, wouldn't it be beautiful if we come up with, um, an app that we can use in connecting. All right. Can't we come up with an app? Can't we create an app where at least the four of us or we who are friends from this campus and by extension, the students around this college, all right, or this campus can, interact with their friends even after leaving this very space. Now that idea is what we now call Facebook. That was the solution. That was the problem. Connectivity, the problem of connectivity. All right. And the problem of connectivity, this group of students who were wise enough to open up their minds to create a solution using all of their experiences from, their high institution or from their college or even the knowledge of their course of study. All right. They were able to create a solution. Now we have Facebook every other day. We have Facebook in every nations of the world, in the over 190 countries of the world, there's Facebook there. Do you understand? All right. And of course, we understand what led to the expansion of that very brand. Is primarily the acquisition of that very app by Mark Zuckerberg. All right. But hey, think about it this way. If that solution or that problem was not identified and that very app was not created to solve that very problem of connectivity, Mark Zuckerberg will not be finding Facebook. Do you understand me? So what I'm saying to you is that the first gift life in university gives to you is identifying problems, or the gift of solving problems and creating solutions. And you can do this in this four simple way. Think about the problem in the world, all right? Identify a specific problem that resonates with you, all right? Think about a solution and take action. All right. So we've come to the end of today's podcast. Um, I don't intend to make the podcast lengthy or overly too long, so you can listen to it in one sitting. All right. So I know you have questions. All right. So I will need you to ask your questions. All right. You can drop your questions on the comment section or forward them to me using any of the handles below. All right. For the benefit of those who's going to be listening to this podcast in an audio format, you can reach me on WhatsApp on 070 32 300 590. I'll take that again, 070 um, 32 300 590. The dialing code is +234 Nigeria. All right. Or you can get recorded episode of this very podcast, at Seller, or you can get it at AudioMark and all the platforms listed, in this very slide. You can write to me on mail. You can write to me, so you can use the handle arisegodfrey@gmail.com. All right, and you would reach me on the Gmail. Oh well, so we've had a very beautiful time. I need you to create solutions. I need you to identify a problem, and until you do, we're going to be meeting next week. All right, next week Saturday on this very platform to have the next section of our podcast on Life University. And next week is going to be very interesting. I'm going to be sharing with you another beautiful gift that life gives to you. All right, until next time, my name is Arise Michael Godfrey, and I am your friend. Have a great day ahead.